Tax Wall Street! End AIDS! Tax Wall Street! End AIDS! Tax Wall Street! End AIDS!
What does Occupy Wall Street have to do with the HIV and AIDS crisis? In the Life followed a protest in Lower Manhattan to find out.
Act up! Fight back! Fight AIDS!
Today is an action to honor the 25th anniversary of ACT UP, in which we are joining forces with the Occupy movement to call for a financial speculation tax.
Some say direct action AIDS advocacy was born on Wall Street. It was here in 1987 that the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, or ACT UP, held its first march to protest corporate greed, as well as the high price and lack of availability of HIV medication.
The AIDS activist movement has always been very much based in social justice issues. The people who aren't able to get jobs and are most deeply impacted by the financial crisis are people living in poverty, it's people of color. Similarly, the HIV response impacts people living in poverty, African American, Latino, young gay men.
Housing works! Housing works!
That shared commitment to social justice brought together a coalition of healthcare, AIDS advocacy, and Occupy Wall Street groups to fight for healthcare issues.
We believe healthcare.
We believe healthcare
is a human right.
Those industries, the financial industries, aren't paying their fair share of the cost for supporting public health.
We know where the money is.
We know where the money is!
It's on Wall Street.
It's on Wall Street!
Together, these groups demanded a financial transaction tax on Wall Street to fund public initiatives, including global warming, universal health care and job creation, and an end to the AIDS crisis.
There's this misconception that the HIV crisis is under control. Last year we had 1.8 million deaths, 2.6 million new infections. We've seen in the last 2 years the amount of funding available for global AIDS decrease when we need it to be increasing.
With this very small tax, we could generate over $400 billion for healthcare, the fight against AIDS, and the safety net. It could totally change the outcome of AIDS. It could turn the tide.
First proposed by famed economist John Maynard Keynes in 1936, a financial transaction tax is a small tax on trades of stocks, bonds, currencies, and derivatives.
Literally, a tax would be automatically applied to any of those transactions. The simplest would be a flat tax of around 5 cents on every $100 worth of transactions.
Over 30 countries worldwide have enacted financial transaction taxes. It remains to be seen whether there is political will in the United States for a tax on banks. But the people we spoke to were optimistic that just as with the early AIDS crisis, direct action today can bring change.
I consider ACT UP sort of the mothership. A lot of the tactics and the way of organizing that Occupy is currently using came out of direct action activism that was happening in response to the AIDS crisis.
Over the years, we've learned that by doing demonstration, by drawing media and public attention to issues, you get the voting public interested, and you also, in a way, embarrass politicians for not supporting just causes. We're hoping that this will be the first in a number of joint actions that Occupy and ACT UP will do in the future to draw attention to the need for a financial transaction tax.
It's been amazing to be able to work with them, ACT UP, to work with Occupy, to educate those folks who didn't know about the AIDS crisis, what's happening now, what happened in the past.
We're basically returning to the scene of the crime. ACT UP was here 25 years ago. They came back 24 years ago and shut down trading on the stock market. We're here again, still fighting the same fight.